Hey, I'm Montie Twining. I am the co-founder here at Roost Root and the product designer. And this is a series of videos that I'm doing where I'm using the CAD software that we use to design these coops, as well as we use them to build them on our CNC machines. And I'm going to try to walk you through the entire heritage series of our coops and kind of explain to you the feature set of these heritage coops, as well as the differences between each of these coops. Let's take a look. Okay, so a proper chicken coop is designed really of three distinct spaces that the chickens need. These heritage coops kind of have some extra spaces in them that are for the person. I'm going to go through and show you, try to, in this video, show you kind of what we call our Model 12, which is 12 feet long and holds 20 birds. Our Model 20, which is 20 feet long. It's actually 21 feet long and it is rated for 30 birds. Our Model 30, which is 30 feet long, and we rate it for 40 birds. And our Model 40, which is 40 feet long, and we rate it for 50 birds. The concept of these coops is basically all the same, and they're just extended in length and feature sets. So the first thing to talk about on these spaces that you build chicken coops for are the egg boxes. The egg boxes on the heritage coop are located here on the right-hand side. And there's 5 double egg boxes on the 40. There's 4 double egg boxes on the 30, 3 double egg boxes on the 20, and 2 double egg boxes on the 12. They're really exactly the same on any of these heritage series coops. They're the double egg boxes that we have that have wired bottoms in them in case an egg breaks, that you can wash them out. We provide, included in the price of the heritage coop, what's optional on our other coops, which are egg box liners for all of these, which give the egg box a cleanable surface that the eggs can be laid on. And there is a double barrel bolt door in each of these egg boxes to get to the eggs. The hardware on this is all stainless steel. And inside the coop, there is a jump bar that helps the chickens jump up and land on this jump bar before they go through the egg box hole into the egg boxes. And the jump bar also ends up being a day roost. A lot of the chickens will just kind of sit up there and hang out in front of the egg box. The only other thing really to mention to you about the egg boxes is egg boxes are supposed to be dark, and because of these coops featuring the smoked polycarbonate roofing, we also have to include a dark slide on top of all these egg boxes to make sure that the egg boxes are dark. The chickens are going to want to lay eggs in a dark environment. Okay, kind of turn our attention now to the run space in the coop. The run space is down here on the ground. All of these coops are 10 feet wide, which is one of the widest coops that are in the market. It was the widest that we could make it and still make it shippable in crates. I mean, these are very large panels that get put in crates and shipped. That makes it to where it's more economical to get it, and you can build it in place. So, you know, normally if a structure this large kind of has to be fabricated out of pieces at a job site, but because the way we built it in pre-made panels with all the wire attached and everything else, that it can be shipped more easily. Point out a few things about the run. So the run on all these coops is this space, not including this this shed area, which I'll talk about in a moment. We subtract out that shed area, but it does include the ground on the inside the roost area, which we'll go over in great detail. So we use 4 square feet per bird as our calculation. So when we say that the Model 40 heritage coop is good for 50 birds, that means we've calculated out that there is over 200 square feet of ground space for them. Model 30, 40 birds, that we've calculated out that there's more than 160 square feet. Model 20, we've calculated out that there's more than 80 square feet. And then the Model 12, which is good for, Model 20, which is good for 30 birds, is more than 120 square feet. And the Model 12 80. So when we calculate out that space, we're using a number that's bigger than what the government even calls free range as far as eggs go. And that space is available where you can just lock the birds in here. They do not have to have any free range time. However, a lot of people do like letting their birds free range. And so we do place an automatic door that comes standard equipment. There's just a little hole here because I don't have the door actually modeled, but there is a solar powered automatic door on the back side of the roost area where your chickens can get out during the day, eat bugs, hang out. They'll generally not go any more than 50, say maybe 100 feet away from this coop. And they're going to come back at nighttime to roost, or they'll come back in the morning to lay their eggs. They're going to lay their eggs in these egg boxes because it's the most convenient place for them to lay eggs. The other thing we did on this coop, because we wanted it to be some of the people with larger flocks of chickens like using in colder areas, a deep litter bedding method. So we, along the bottom rails of all of this coop, we put in a high density polyethylene plastic that allows you to pile up a deep litter bedding for winter months, which would generate some heat, and that you could use that along with our storm panels, which I'll go over later in the video. So the run space is this space down here on the ground, and that kind of outlines the features to it. A person walks into the coop through the door in the front of the coop here, and the chickens can get out of the run space through an automatic door in the back of the coop. So the concept of the roost space on these Heritage Center Series coops is the same for all of them. It's just a question of the size of it. The first thing I'd like to point about the roost space is we've got on the Heritage Series fold down doors in the back of the coop that allow you to, without putting on the storm panels, if you want to fold these doors down and let more air into the roost space during hot months, you can do that. And that's a kind of an increased feature of this series over any of our other coops. The rest of our coops don't really have these fold down doors. The other thing about the coop and the Heritage Coop, the run space in these coops, is we give an extra automatic door that leads from the roost space into the run area. And the reason that we do that is that it gives at nighttime an extra layer of protection to the birds that are roosting. So if some predator were for some reason to dig under, I don't think they're going to break through. This coop's very strong. If some predator were to dig through and get into the run area of the coop, there's a separate wall that isolates the roost area of the coop from the run in all of these. And basically what you end up with is a 3-area back roost area in the Model 40, 2-area in the Model 30 and the Model 20, and a single area in the Model 12. Once you get into the roost space, I'm going to kind of hide this one wall here so we can kind of look in, and it's the same basic idea on all of these coops. There's roosting bunks with the appropriate amount of space for the given number of birds that the coop is rated for. So in the case of the 40, each of these bunks would hold up to 25 chickens. They'll hold more than that, but we've rated them for at least the minimum number of birds that we say that it should keep. And then there's a ramp that allows smaller birds to walk up and get on, but most of the time the birds are just going to flap their wings and fly up and get on these roost bars. These roost bars are positioned in a way that the birds can all not poop on each other, and instead they can poop on the ground. And then there's a walk-in door to the roost area for when you decide to walk in and rake up the ground space on the roost. That's really it about the roost. The only other thing I could think of to maybe mention is that on our roost bars, like all of our coops, they're octagonally shaped. We make them octagonally shaped because it fits the segmented like joints of how a bird's feet are done better, allows them to grip a little better, more comfortably. If it's cold, it allows them to settle down on their feet and protect their feet better than any other way. Talk about the sheltering plan for this coop a little bit. And it can't be overstated that chickens are much, much more cold tolerant than they are heat tolerant. They're very hardy when it comes to cold, unless you live in an area that routinely gets to be sub-zero temperatures for more than 2 or 3 weeks at a time. This coop is going to provide a lot, probably sufficient shelter. Now, if you live in some place that snows a lot and snow's going to accumulate in this coop, or those sub-zero temperatures, then like all of our coops, there is a storm panel set that attaches using 3D printed clips on these frames that can be left in place while it's cold. Using panels in this transom area is entirely up to you. Monitor style vents up in the transom area of the coop because we want to be able to, no matter what, get ventilation in there, because otherwise you'll run into respiratory problems with your birds. But there's enough roof overlap that not too much snow would blow in through these panels. And you would rather have a little snow in your coop than to cut off too much of the ventilation that you need for these birds. The storm panels are left on as long as it's sub-zero, but otherwise these roost fold down doors in the roost area and the wind protection that you can get from these lower HDPE panels along the roost is enough to get your birds through all but the coldest regions. Down a little lower on the web page, there's a climate considerations tab with a detailed map about cold weather chicken keeping and sheltering them in cold weather safely. This same strategy is used on whether you get a Model 40, Model 30, Model 20, or the Model 12, the same kind of storm panel and sheltering strategy. Other than storm panels, there really aren't any accessories for this series of coops. Everything comes standard. We put in redundant water systems in all of these coops, whether it's the Model 12, 20, 30, or 40. The water system is the same. There's redundant waters. And the reason we do that is for some terrible reason, a poultry nipple drops out of one of the waters, that you still have one of these tubes that are full of water. The other kind of fun part about these waters is that they get filled from inside the shed area. And if you wanted to run heaters and put in them, you could, we even give you a little box to put your electrical wiring in inside of the shed area. The appropriate number of poultry nipples are already included on each of the waters, whether you get the Model 12, 20, 30, or 40, depending on the number of birds that each coop holds. And if you wanted to upgrade to the freeze guard poultry nipples that we manufacture that will protect the water from freezing, say from between 0 and 32 degrees. I think once it gets below 0, they're going to freeze also. But there's that window from 0 to 32 that they can help protect. Now in the larger coops, I don't have a computer model of it. We use a bulk feeder. And I think there's 2 of them that come on the Model 40, 1 of them on the 30 and 20. And that it is a bulk feeder that is included in it. And then on the Model 12, we include a 4-pack of our Easy Fill feeders, which are we manufacture them ourselves, gravity feeders, and they do a great job at providing enough food for the 20 birds that the Model 12 will hold. The only other things that are kind of, well, I don't think there are any other things that are optional. The doors, there's 2 solar-powered automatic doors that have sunlight sensors, as well as they're programmable, that are included in the coop. These coops come with sort of our upgraded smoked polycarbonate roof on them, just the way that they are. It's a very beautiful roof structure that's made possible by this these cool bolts that kind of hold it all together, but it all disassembles real easy for shipping. And then there's even kind of a matched ridge cap that goes on the roofing system, and it's just really a premium product in that regard. Yeah, and I think something that's unique to these coops that warrants some explanation is that we do build in each of these coops kind of a shed area for storage of stuff. Like I said earlier, you can get to the waters in here, and we do give a wiring box. And there's a door that you can walk through into and out of the shed once you're in. So even once you're sort of in the coop taking care of your chickens, you can walk through this door here in and out of your shed. So This is just kind of a premium experience as far as the chicken keeper is concerned. Whether you want to store feed in there, a rake in there, it just gives you a storage space. It's a single, roughly 4 feet by 4 feet shed that comes in the Model 12 and the Model 20. Once you get to the Model 30 and 40, it's kind of a double sized shed. And actually both of these doors open out on the Model 30 and 40, which makes it plenty big to maybe even store, for instance, like a wheelbarrow in there. Okay, well, that concludes this video for the design features of the Heritage Coop series. Hope it answered your questions for you. If you have any other questions, just pick up the phone, give us a call. We'll answer and just help you out in any way that we can. We would love to have you for a customer. We deeply believe in our products, and this Heritage series of Coops is really the most premium thing that we're aware of out in the marketplace. And it's a great way to keep a lot of birds if your budget will allow for it. Thanks again for watching.